Hey guys, and welcome back to the Game Not Game podcast. My name is Green, and with me, as always, is my co-host Zen from his channel Zen and Cyrene. How you doing, Zen?
I am doing well. How are you doing today?
Pretty great. Just here on our lovely podcast, Game Not Game, which is a podcast about games and also not games.
Yep. No. I don't know if you want to talk about what we talked about before the podcast, but I'm starting to suspect that maybe you've had a little bit to drink.
Excuse me?
You're just repeating what we talked about before the podcast.
Well, yeah, but we weren't recording then, Zen.
Okay.
The viewers at home have to know that this
true.
is the Game Not Game podcast.
Yep, we are the Game Not Game podcast, and I think today we are going to start with something not game, and that is everyone's favorite thing from especially from your teenage years, acne.
Oh yes.
Now,
specifically, acne products that don't intrude upon masculinity, because that's the thing. Like, teenage boys, they gotta be manly. They can't be like, rubbing facial moisturizers and shit on their skin. What they can do is get zit camouflage. Now pay attention to that word camouflage, because it's not concealer. That's not what this is. This is zit camouflage for guys. It's called They Hate Pimples. And so this is basically a concealer. It's a tiny little thing of concealer for $20 on Amazon, and it comes in 3 colors. There's amber ale, there's medium lager, and there's pale ale. And that's what this is. It's incredible. If you want, I could just read the product description, because it's really awesome and kind of highlights what's going on. Up until now, there have been only 2 solutions for dealing with a pimple: popping it or drowning it in acne medication in order to dry that mother out. Admit it. You were mocked by your buddies and ignored by the ladies for the week it took for that pimple to disappear. Well, They Hate Pimples is the badass superhero that's about to swoop in and save the day. Tell that evil pimple overlord residing on your face to back the hell up. And that's in quotes, by the way. Quote, back the hell up, end quote. As there is finally a solution. Zit camouflage for dudes. They Hate Pimples was built for guys by guys. Go from a dude with shame to a stud with game in 2 dabs and a rub. 2 dabs and a rub. You can't say that on TV. That's illegal. Very different from the rubbing you normally do in the bathroom, by the way. That's in parentheses.
Wait. Did they actually say that?
That's what they say in the product description. They Hate Pimples zit camouflage for guys. Looking for a way to get rid of pimples fast? Looking for the best acne product on Amazon? Looking for pimple solutions that cover up and hide pimples in a matter of seconds? Do you hate pimples and try to pop them as soon as they show up on your face? Well, stop beating yourself up and find the best and quickest solution out there for guys. New Zit Camouflage for guys is the pimple solution you've been looking for. Not a male concealer, but a zit camouflage, excuse me. Not that there is anything wrong with concealer for men, it says in parentheses. Get it right. This isn't about male makeup or anything like that. It's about getting rid of pimples fast. Most acne solutions take 5+ days to work, but not this product. You can hide acne and cover up pimples as quickly as you can dip your finger into the product and apply it to your face. That's what she said. Don't settle for second best when it comes to... It didn't say that's what she said. That was me.
Wait, no.
It was an editor's note.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, just finish. I'll say what I'm going to say afterwards.
Okay. Don't settle for second best when it comes to acne solutions. Find the best acne product out there in our humble opinion. No, we didn't survey the world, but how can you argue with a solution that works in seconds instead of over the course of a week? Get rid of pimples fast with Zit Camouflage for guys from They Hate Pimples. P.S. If you like male concealers, then try this Zit Camo. It's a lot more fun than a concealer for men.
Okay, that sounds like 6 paragraphs worth of product copy. Holy shit.
Well, it was only one paragraph because they didn't bother to break it up. But you're right. It was about 6 paragraphs.
Hello,
really, a paragraph
Wario.
only ends when you press enter twice.
Have you been convinced, by the way, Chad, to buy this pimple cream after that long?
I feel like my reading was really good. I feel like they should pay me right now.
That's true. They
Even though I'm making fun of it. Because holy shit, what a terrible fucking idea. This is like the most expensive concealer on the market. And it's because it's marketed to men and the colors are in beer terms. That's how they do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beer. There's the very sly masturbation references. You know.
Oh yeah, that was really sly. It's different from the rubbing you usually do. It slides right under. If your grandma was reading that, she'd be like, "Oh, I wonder what kind of rubbing my grandson does." Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the delay there. Twitch chat couldn't hear Zen because OBS is bad. Hey, Zen.
Hello. Just about to start talking about that super manly pimple cream again. I have to say something, right? 20 years ago, let's say if you decided to buy a cologne, any kind of cologne, you imagine this: you're a teenage boy, you're going to buy a cologne, and you're going for your prom date, right? Uh-huh. Would you buy a cologne or a deodorant called Axe?
Yeah, you're right. There's definitely been a cultural shift away from suave and high class toward just manly. I'm gonna fucking punch a bear in the face. I feel like Old Spice has gone through that pretty hard too. I kind of love Old Spice's branding, but man, they turned from just Old Spice. It's it's a mystical ancient spice that makes you smell good, to roar, I'm like a crazy shirtless man, I'm gonna yell at you about it.
But Old Spice is at least self-aware, though, right?
They are, yeah, and that's a big difference for sure.
Right. They hate pimples is basically, I don't know. I guess most of the takes on this is how insecure it makes it makes itself sound, right? Or the target audience, which it's true to a certain degree. A lot of teenagers, including myself, we were insecure at that age, but it doesn't help things.
Yeah, this would not have improved things for teenage me. I was definitely insecure, but I would have seen right through this shit.
Yep.
It's especially because it literally is just a normal concealer, but you change the names peach and cream to amber ale and medium lager. And for those changes, you're paying double the price.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. God, I just saw in the customers who bought this item there's also a Men Pen concealer stick.
A Men Pen?
I definitely think that you can't advertise that on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, wait, they don't advertise they hate pimples on TV, right?
Oh, I don't know. No, none of this is on TV. I'm just, that's my gag. That's my joke.
Well, the whole company is called They Hate Pimples. It seems like this is the only product, I think.
Yeah, no, this is it. They Hate Pimples is a company that makes little tubs of concealer. There's nothing else.
Wow.
So yeah, I just really wanted to highlight this because holy shit, what an incredible distillation of the culture of manliness today.
Yeah.
We're so it's not manly to use a concealer, so that's completely off the table. You need camouflage to do that, and it's got to be named after beer or we're not going to do it.
Doi Warrior said that he would be severely disappointed if it wasn't shaped like a dick,
I mean, it's shaped like a dick, but only as much as any lipstick or lip gloss thing is. It's basically that. It's basically a thing of lip gloss.
Here's the thing, alright, no insecure teenage boy that they're of the audience that they're targeting is going to take a dick-shaped concealer and rub it all over their face.
Oh no, sorry, I'm talking about the Men Pen. They Hate Pimples. They Hate Pimples is a little it's a tub.
You got a subscriber, Green.
Holy shit! Thank you very much, Happy Dog Shaking Floppy Toy. That's my second subscriber, actually. we're raking them in.
Well, thank you.
I've just submitted a emote.
Oh, have you?
You guys will see that soon. Yeah, it's gonna be a 60. You know the 100 emoji that people use.
Yeah.
I made that, but colored green, and it's the number 69.
Oh, good.
And that's gonna be my Twitch emote.
That's
so
amazing.
If you want that, come on over to twitch.tv/green9090 and subscribe. That'll probably be approved in like 3 or 4 months. So get on that early. We'll see how quickly Twitch gets to that, but I have submitted it.
Okay, I gotcha. What was I going to say? Oh no, but if you made it shaped like a sword or something, which is like a stand-in for a dick, basically, in many like muscular Conan style high fantasy things, like guys will be all over that, I guess.
That would be so amazing. I think that would actually work, and it would also be the most homoerotic thing on the market today. Like, you're gonna take this sword and just like cut your own pimple with it, but actually you're just like rubbing a metaphorical dick on your face.
Yep.
But no, that's unfortunately not what this is. Though I'm sure if you asked the developers of They Hate Pimples, they would say that the ideal way to apply this is probably with a sword.
With a what?
With a sword.
Yeah,
You take the tip of your sword and you dip it in the little tin, and you just use the sword to apply it to your skin.
So
yeah. Anyway, that's our manliness news.
I just need to finish up by saying that in the Amazon webpage, there are a couple of customer questions and answers. The first one is, can women use this? Yes, says Andrew C.
Important to note, it's can woman, not can women.
Yep.
Can women use this?
But Andrew C. The C stands for caveman. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Andrew.
There's also, it can hide beard?
It can hide beard.
And the answer from They Hate Pimples, the seller, is nope, not for hair.
Wow. It's quite something, I have to say.
Is this good to use as a makeup for men instead of using it to cover blemishes? Its main use is zit camouflage, but you can use the product any way you find it works for you. Oh man, that's really good.
There's a review
what a thing.
Here that says, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It looks like the concealer that comes with a Halloween zombie kit from Walgreens.
It basically is that. It's just it's all in the advertising.
Hey, you know what though? Someday somebody's going to come up with like a zombie themed concealer.
Oh no.
What?
This review is a disaster. I only read the first sentence and it's already terrible. I bought the pale ale for my fair-skinned teen son, who has been fighting his acne for several years now. We've tried many products, including the advertised on TV, and some all-natural methods, which seem to make it worse. Now he's down to just washing with plain water and a soft washcloth and using this product. His face appears less irritated, and the way it camouflages while his acne is healing really gives him confidence. I think that's about all we need to know about it. But
yeah.
This teenager's mom is writing a review saying like, oh yeah, I bought the pale ale colored concealer for my son and he's doing so much better. That really outlines it. Good stuff.
All right, well, that is our not our review, but that is our expose, so to speak, on They Hate Pimples.
Yeah, you can quote us on this. This is our expose.
Yeah, we are internet muckrakers here in Game Not Game.
What should we go on to next?
Well, I mean, speaking of things that have been hidden or hiding things or things that have been discovered, really good segue.
Speaking of concealed things,
shall we move on to Tibia, or is there anything that you want to talk about? Let's just move on to Tibia, and then we can go back if you want to.
Tibia.
Yes,
we can do whatever we want. It's our show.
It is our show. This is an update to a story we have been covering for the last year or so. There's this old MMORPG called Tibia, and there's this one door in the game. It have a simple message. If you see a gate of expertise for level 999, only the worthy can pass. But the problem in Tibia is that it takes so long, like 9 years for a person to get to level 999, that no one has gone through it until last year when somebody did and disappeared.
To clarify, this is a person treating Tibia as a full-time job.
Yeah.
It'll take 9 years to get through this door.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, it's extreme grinding. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So now, one person passed through and never was heard from again, as far as we know.
We covered that earlier on the podcast. This guy went through the door and just disappeared from the community entirely.
Yep. A second person got to level 999 and started asking for donations for it.
Which did not work.
Did not work. He was an asshole, basically. But finally, somebody has gone through the door live on stream. Right. And I'm missing the article. I think I clicked on the wrong one. Do you have it up?
I do.
Yeah, so
I can link that to you.
Yeah. So they did pass through the door. And what they found was, it's a mystery for 12 years.
They just found a little island, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a tiny island full of sandy beaches, palm trees. It doesn't look like anything extraordinary. 15,000 people were watching simultaneously as this happened. And, well, there was nothing special behind it, as far as we know.
Well, there was, if you talk to one of those dudes on the island, they'll give you a goblet that's inscribed with, like, basically, congratulations for reaching level 999. I'm trying to find the exact quote. But it was to that effect. It was just, good job.
And I think
here it is. Yeah. Oh, no, we don't even know what it says, because lots of players had expected to teleport to a hard boss, expected the teleport to a hard boss monster to defeat, or to a reward room, or with otherwise unobtainable but useful items. Instead, it seems the island only contains a few NPCs that hand out a golden goblet with a special inscription, congratulating the player for reaching level 999. So we don't know exactly what it says, but it's something to that effect.
By the way, I was mistaken. This is the same person who crossed the door that was trying to get money. It's the same person. And
okay. So he just,
Yeah, his name is Dev Onika. And
did he do it? Did he get the money?
He raised $1.
Oh, no.
Well. Yep. So that didn't work. He blew his door opening load. If he... I got $1. I'm sure people, if people were a little bit less, if it wasn't so so determined to get money out of his audience, I think some more people would have donated to him. But
probably.
Well. So a lot of people were disappointed by this. They were expecting like a room for a treasure or a really difficult boss or something along those lines. Just a small island for right now, which I don't blame anyone for being disappointed, because this is like a decade-long secret, right?
Yeah, this has been a mystery for a long time. However, looking back at it with the benefit of hindsight, looking at the story, it makes so much sense that the door would just have stupid bullshit behind it. That's like, when you have something like this that's so hyped up for so long, nothing that's back there could possibly live up to player expectation. And of course, if you're just making this game, you're to be like, let's do something special for the people who really like get super far in it. Let's give them a little congratulations place. And they're not thinking like, when you're making that room, you're not thinking in the context of people are going to work at this for 10 years. And they're going to build up all these imaginary circumstances around this door. So it, like, to me anyway, with my experience of disappointing video game updates, makes perfect sense to me that the devs were just like, hey, good job, congratulations, you made it through the door.
I still think they could have done something very stupid and cosmetic, like a party hat or something and that's the only way a person can get it,
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what the goblet is, right? Like, you can't get that goblet otherwise.
True.
But I guess it's not... I don't know how the game works, to be honest with you. Like, you probably can't, like, wear the goblet so that people can see it. But, yeah, I don't know how... I don't know what the structure of the game enough is to know what an appropriate reward would be.
Right. Well, on the other hand, it could have been another door that said level gate of expertise level 5,000.
Literally just like a beginner's guide style little dark area with another door that says get to level 2,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Come back in 50 years. You were like a little baby.
Yep. You do not know, cannot possibly understand the true nature of the world that's hidden behind this door. The real world that humans cannot understand.
God, imagine just procedurally generating just an infinite series of doors with increasing numbers. That would be the biggest troll in the world. Like, eventually you'd get to the point where you just need, like, 200 years of game time. And there would be... Somebody's son would be out there still working on his account. He's long dead. And the son is reaching, like, 75 years old. He's like, I'm finally gonna do it, Dad. And he makes it... It's just another door. It's like, get to level 3,000.
Can you imagine? If this was like a fantasy book, a really dumb one, but a really dumb fantasy book, it would be an entire lineage of people, like the family line of people trying to get through an increasing series of procedurally generated door. You know, like the House of Doors or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, the tibias? Well, they haven't been right since since old man Tibia found that door. Ever since then, they've been working at it day and night. The whole family grinding away at monsters, trying to find out what's past it. But you know what was behind that door? Just another door. Something not right about that Tibia family.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
House Tibia.
Yeah. Well, God, that's got to be... God, imagine spending 10 years working at something and being like, there's going to be something fucking awesome behind that. Imagine the amount of time they must have spent fantasizing, like, what's going to be behind that door? And then they finally get there, it's this shitty little island, and a dude gives them a goblet. And they're like, oh.
You know what?
What have I done?
Well, it's a metaphor for retiring after 20 years of the corporate job. That's
true. It's a metaphor for life.
Yeah, it's a participation trophy. A little watch.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay. Upbeat podcast. We're doing it. You want to talk about Mario?
Talk about what now?
Mario.
Yes, let's talk about Mario. Speaking of people with jobs, in this particular case, it's proven, Nintendo has confirmed that he doesn't have a normal job. The assumption, the law all along was that he's a plumber. Nintendo says he is not, in fact, a plumber anymore.
Yeah, they tweeted something in Japanese that was like, he used to be a plumber. Long ago, it seems he used to work as a plumber too.
Yep. He's not a plumber now. He's just a bum, I guess.
Yeah, well, you know what he does is he looks cool playing any sports.
Yeah, he gets sponsorship money.
Yeah. With his skillful jumping and power-ups, he puts a stop to Bowser's evil plans. That's his full-time job now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, that's part of the introduction.
Yeah. So he was once a plumber, and he still apparently, like, you know, takes advantage of his plumber-related skills to be able to jump into pipes and teleport around. Because presumably no normal human would be able to do that. If you take a normal dude and shove him into a green pipe, that dude would come out on the other side as just mush.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll come out.
Only a plumber can do.
It would be like that manga in which somebody steps into a crack and comes out like big jerky on the other end.
Yeah, he'd come back out and just be like, durr, durr, durr. But yeah, so that's a really interesting... Nintendo has been doing so many weird reveals. Like, recently there was that time on Polygon they were like, so why isn't Mario like a normal human? Is he not human? What is he? And they're like, Mario's human. Everybody comes in different shapes and sizes. And it's like, okay, so you've got a whole town filled with people who are really similarly sized, and then you've got this weird little fucking homunculus just capering around. I don't know about that, Nintendo. And now they're saying he's not even a plumber. What is he? What is Mario?
He is a walking hat stand for an evil hat.
Yeah, I mean, well, clearly that for sure. Yeah, this all reads like weird propaganda for the hat, made by the hat. It's like, let's read this whole thing. Cheerful, popular, and loved by everybody, he's really close to his younger twin brother Luigi, the other half of the famous duo. Athletic, he looks cool playing any sports, from tennis to baseball to soccer and even kart racing. Actually, long ago it seems he used to work as a plumber too. He loves Princess Peach, so whenever she gets into trouble, he's ready to spring into action and save her. With his skillful jumping and power-ups, he puts a stop to Bowser's evil plans. That just reads like weird propaganda.
Yeah, maybe he should start his own line of acne concealer.
Koopas hate pimples.
Yeah, exactly.
All the toads would use it.
Yep. It says the revelation sent shockwaves, quote unquote, through Japanese Twitter, with one person saying Mario's a NEET, N-E-E-T, which is an abbreviation or way of describing adult members of the population who are neither working or going to school.
Yeah, it stands for not education,
employment
or trading. Yeah.
So as it turns out, Mario is a bum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he lives with his parents. He plays a lot of video games, probably. He goes kart racing sometimes.
Yep.
No, but really what this is, this is just the hat trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, Mario's just a normal being, just a normal human.
Yep, he has a stylish hat, but that's really about it.
He's got the best hat in the universe. Look into the hat's gaze. It will look back at you.
Yes, and that is okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm really excited to see where this all comes together in Mario Odyssey, where we start to find out where, like, did Mario used to be a plumber before the hat took over? Is that what it was? Like, I can't wait to see this dank lore.
I hope there's a scene, because there's New Donk City in Mario Odyssey. Yeah. I hope there's a scene in which Mario jumps down one of those green pipes, those iconic green pipes, and comes out, let's say, in the sink of an apartment where a woman is surprised, and she says, "Oh, thank you for fixing the clog."
Or somebody just comes up to him and is like, "Can you please help unclog my toilet?" He's like, "I haven't been a plumber for a long time."
Man, oh my god, why is this so reflective of my real life? I just was trying to call a handyman to come in to help fix my dad's thing, and he was like, "I retired."
What? Really?
Seriously, yeah. I mean, that was his personal number that I called. I didn't know that. He put it on his business card.
Did you see him? Was he wearing a hat?
Oh, man. So I actually know Mario in real life. I have all kinds of questions.
Mario.
Yes, I talked to Mario.
Yeah.
Or Rodney, aka Mario.
What?
That's his actual name. The handyman. The handyman.
Okay. So
I thought not Mario's actual name is Rodney.
Saying there's some deep lore where Mario's name was Rodney. I was like, what are you talking about? Oh man.
Well,
all right. Well, so earlier last week I played some Destiny 2, and it was really fun and awesome. And then I found out later, apparently Destiny 2 is like totally pay to win.
Yeah, I don't know much about that. So can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I was really disappointed to hear it. So apparently there are these, like, every time you level up in the game, you get a box that has random contents that could be, total trash, or it could be like, end game upgrades to make your skills have a shorter cooldown, or give you more armor, or give your gun more stability, stuff like that. And these are crates that you could just buy for like $10. So effectively, if somebody wants to like become the greatest god in Destiny, they can just drop $100 and they're gonna get some really good stuff that is effectively not available to normal players because it would take so long to grind out that many crates. So I was pretty disappointed by that.
Well, that unfortunately, I hate to say this, but I'm so immersed in the world of mobile gaming now, like stupid free-to-play games, that sounds exactly like what happens. They're probably taking a cue from that.
Totally. Yeah, and it's shitty because Destiny is a $60 video game.
Right, that's a big difference.
It's not. I don't have a problem whatsoever with free-to-play games finding a way to get money out of people. That's how that works. When you get into a free-to-play game, you expect that from the get-go. From a $60 game, I don't want people to be able to pay a further $100 and become, like, way better than me. And especially I don't want that because of the fact that most free-to-play games have really shitty designs for the consumer. Like, free-to-play games tend to feel really shitty to play without spending money on them, and that's by design. Because if you're making a free-to-play pay-to-win game, your whole job is to make players feel bad and make them feel like spending money will alleviate that feeling of feeling bad. And I really don't want that to spread away from free-to-play mobile games into AAA $60 games.
Right. Well, I'm sure the market will respond really quickly to that, though. Has the company said anything about this? Have they tried to clarify?
No, apparently that's how it was in Destiny 1. I didn't know anything about that because I didn't play Destiny 1. But yeah, apparently in Destiny 1 you could totally just fucking buy a bunch of crates and become a god.
Apparently it worked?
Yeah, and it seems unlikely to change in Destiny 2, and I'm hoping the PC gaming community is going to be like, excuse me, you can't do that here. But we'll see. But until that's sorted, I don't plan on buying the game. That's like, just because of the fact that the developers are incentivized to develop the game to make me miserable, makes me just not even be interested in it.
That's so bizarre, though, because, I mean, I know how it is. People want to play what they want to play, but there's so much strong competition in the PC marketplace for shooters of that variety.
Totally.
Right? Overwatch, they have a crate system too, but it's all cosmetic, right?
Yeah. In Overwatch, it's 100% cosmetic, which I'm fine with. I don't, necessarily love that you can spend extra money on Overwatch to get the skins you want, but, whatever. It doesn't affect the gameplay, so it's not a big deal. The problem is incentives to me. Like, if the game is developed in a way that incentivizes the developers making patches in the future that say, like, hey, you can't really play this content unless you spend $20, that's shitty.
Yeah. And
that's, like, even if Destiny 2 doesn't start out that way, I don't trust at all that that's not going to be the case because, if your game is set up in such a way that the more miserable players are, the more money it makes, that's just going to create a system where the game is always getting worse.
Yeah, and, again, I think people just go and play something else.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It is a really goddamn good game, though. Like, it felt super good to play, and I'm really disappointed by that news.
Yeah.
I was super planning. I was gonna buy that game day one if the reviews were good. I was gonna play the shit out of it, but like you said, I have too many other things to play. I don't need to throw my eggs into the basket of a game that's going to, in all likelihood, go south.
Right. Hey, you know what? There's 1 million people concurrently yesterday playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's a game.
I'd be surprised if Destiny beat that.
Yeah. Yeah, that concurrent player count is just insane. Just mad.
Yeah. PlayerUnknown is going nuts.
Yeah. Well,
I'm very much looking forward to a developer aping that who knows how to make a netcode, because that could be really, really good.
Yeah, I went to visit my family over Labor Day, and
oh yeah, you were telling me about this.
Yeah, and my brother-in-law started playing Battlegrounds. Actually, the reason he started playing Battlegrounds was because of Last Grey Wolf. Austin.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because
That's awesome.
because when Austin started playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, I started watching some of his stuff, and there's this one clip of him. You might have seen it. A lot of people have seen it. In that because it got posted, the live stream fails, right? In which Austin gets run over by a boat. Alright. It's great. It is fantastic. You should watch it. I mean, I just spoiled it for you, but even then, the lead up to it is amazing. Right? So, he watched that video. He and my sister watched that video, and then they said, we have to play this game. Even though they don't play shooters, like, at all, like multiplayer shooters, this Battlegrounds is the first multiplayer shooter he's ever played.
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
That's wild.
It is. So over the weekend, I watched basically almost his first games, like his second and third games, and him trying to play. And yes, the netcode was horrible. He disconnected a bunch of times or couldn't get on. Probably because at that time, during Labor Day, like 900,000 people were trying to play it at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah. But he got so into it. He's like totally like in suspense with everything. It was super fun to watch him because it made everyone nervous, for one thing. But also because a lot of people on streamers now, they play the game for hundreds of hours. They know the deal, right? But he has never played a multiplayer shooter ever. So it became a very nerve-wracking thing for him. But he loved playing it, so he went back in again.
Wow. Okay.
God,
that would be such a wild first-person shooter.
It really is. Well, it's not the first-person shooter he's ever played. He's played BioShock, right?
Well, your first multiplayer shooter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's wild.
Like,
you're right.
For me, my first one was Counter-Strike, which is pretty straightforward.
Right.
You hop into a game and you get randomly assigned a team, and then you try to kill everybody on the other team, and that's like the whole thing. PlayerUnknown is like a whole different animal.
It is.
Like, for one thing, you're gonna lose 99% of the games you play in that game.
Yeah. Like
just because only one person plays out of 100, I think, or only one person wins.
Yeah, by design, right? So, I mean, and there's so much more nuance to a game like that than the first multiplayer game I ever played when I was a kid. That is Doom, right?
So, did you play Doom multiplayer?
I did indeed. Yeah, that was the very first multiplayer game I've ever played. I mean, shooter game.
Lucky.
Yeah.
I never managed to make that work.
No, we were in a computer lab. Like, the rest of us boys, because the girls, none of my girl classmates were interested. We went to the computer lab and then set up somebody set up a network of some kind, and we played Doom. Yeah.
Wow. That would be super fun. I think you've actually told me about that.
Yeah.
But I forgot.
Yeah, so my brother-in-law was so amazed. Like, he was hiding in a room. He heard somebody coming in, right? So he was hiding in a room. Yeah. The guy ran around the window and flanked him, shot him to death, right? And he was like, "You can do that?" and then there was one time in which he was hiding in a closet or something in a bathroom. He was hearing somebody outside, and he knew, as the guy didn't know he was in there, he was going to open the door at some point, and he had his shotgun ready to shoot. And he was there was a few moments in which there were no footsteps, and then he heard one footstep. He freaked, pressed the trigger, blew the door open, and well, he died because the guy knew where he was. Right? Are you okay?
Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, I've got a tickle in my throat. God, that actually reminds me of one of my favorite clips I've ever made on my Twitch channel. I was playing Overwatch last night, and I was playing Mystery Heroes, and I got Bastion, Bastion is a hero that can walk around and shoot, but mostly turns into a turret and gains a lot of offensive ability, but can't walk around until he unturrets. And I was chasing a guy who's really good at killing people super close range. He has a short range stun and a right click that just unloads all his bullets right in front of him. And that's McCree. And I was shooting at a McCree, and he like jumped off of a cliff and ran into a little room. And I saw him go in there, and I just turned into turret for him. And I was like, I can sit here all day, dude. And I sat there for a long time. It was like 15 seconds. And during that time, my team just like pushed the objective in, and we had like we had won. That guy was completely behind enemy lines, and I was like, is he actually still in there? And I get up and walk over to look at him, and of course he's still there. And he stuns me and takes almost all my health. I go from like 300 health to 30 health, and I just run away. And Bastion has self-heal, so I'm just like healing myself and running away from this guy. And he uses all of his abilities on me, doesn't kill me, and then I just shoot him in the head and kill him.
That's commitment.
Yeah, it was one of the silliest Overwatch experiences I've ever had, because nobody ever does that in Overwatch. It's such a fast-paced game. Like, nobody would think to just sit in the corner of a room and wait. And That's what that was his strategy. He was just like, I can't fight this guy unless he gets real close to me. I'm just going to sit in here.
Maybe he's coming to Overwatch from PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
It's possible. He definitely did play like he was playing PlayerUnknown. And he should have killed me. He 100% should have killed me, but he was not very good at the game. He missed an entire clip on me while I was one hit away from death.
Right. Hello, Ami Kurokaze, by the way. Sorry for not noticing
what's going on
earlier.
So, let's see. Do we have any other topics to cover before we hit Hammerwatch?
Well, let's check my topic. The stuff I have open, right? Yeah, we've done Tibia. You know what? I'm just going to mention this real quick.
Sure.
Hello, Ace Ruku, by the way.
Hey, Ace Ruku.
Just another story from Japan. There's a ward, in other words, a city, I guess, in Tokyo called Ota, right? But the word for ward is cool, so it's otaku. This is otaku in Japan.
Okay.
And
wait, it's a city called Otaku.
Basically, it's an area called Otaku, right?
Okay.
And they recently elected a new assemblyman. His name is Ogino, and he's an otaku. You know, his resume lists achievements like participating at doujinshi circles, which is to say fan comics at Comic Cat, and distributing a Toho Project fanfiction.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, and
man,
now
I wish politics in America were like this.
I know, right? Can you imagine if our congressperson, the several congress people are like super into like anime or video games? Oh my god, that's going to happen. That's going to happen in, like within the next decade. And I don't know if I like that, seeing what's going on in politics right now and the internet where they intersect. But yeah.
Yeah. I ran the most successful clan in World of Warcraft. Vote for me for Senate.
Yeah, I mean, I ran a successful clan. It's had 2,000 people. I don't know how many people there are in clans in World of Warcraft. But, you know, I had
Depends.
I'm sorry, what?
I just said it depends.
It depends, right? But the point is that he could say, yes, you know, I have the ability to lead this many people and organize raids. You know, I know I have good management skills and leadership skills, and I know how to handle resources. That's my platform.
Yeah, there you go.
What if presidential elections were decided by waifu preference? Asked Doi Wario.
The world would look exactly like it does today.
Oh no.
That's not true. John McCain would have won.
Waifu preference? What does that even mean? Like, I mean, I know what that means, but how would you vote in an election like that?
So instead, you don't get to see the candidates at all. What happens is you have two different candidates, each of whom prefer a different waifu, and the public votes on the waifus.
So imagine you walk into a voting booth and your ballot is just pictures of waifus in it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, your ballot is basically like a hentai manga, and you just choose a panel, and you're like, I like that one.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
And your vote goes to the candidate who also preferred that same panel.
Hashtag this is the future the liberals want. Oh, good. So yes, Ogino, now assembly person or mayor or whatever, I don't remember what his title is. Ogino, he used a lot of manga in his campaign literature, because all the other politicians, they use, you know, the word-heavy newspaper-style pamphlets. His had lots of moe-looking girls in there, which is to say, young, like, I don't know, cute, I guess? I don't know what the definition of moe is exactly. But yes, big pictures for people to see.
Isn't Moe like they like turn on you? Like
What?
aren't they like cute looking girls that end up being evil?
I think that's more like yandere or tsundere. I think it's yandere actually. Tsundere is they appear to hate you, but they really like you, but they don't want to admit it.
I guess I don't understand manga culture. My bad.
Yeah, there's this really popular game called Yandere Simulator, in which I think yandere means a girl who is completely in love with you, but also insane.
Good. Excellent.
Yep. But yes, this person is very savvy. He got elected, partly, I'm sure, on the back of his savviness with regards to manga and anime. So maybe we'll see more of that in America. I hope not, but maybe.
I hope not too. God, that's the last thing we need to just inject into American politics.
More anime.
More anime.
More memes.
Oh man. Zen, what did you think about our game of the week, Hammerwatch?
The Hammerwatch, one of my 55. Hammerwatch. I really enjoyed it. What is it? Why don't you explain what it is first?
Hammerwatch is basically a modernization of Gauntlet, like the first one from NES. It's a top-down dungeon crawler. It's class-based. You can play a number of different people who all have different abilities. You got a health bar and a mana bar, and you wander around this dungeon and kill everything and get the treasure and find the secrets, and it's just a fucking good time. It's just a classic dungeon crawler.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that much experience with it. We played it back in the day for Green vs. Zen, back in 2015 or something like that. And yeah. I enjoyed it then. I also enjoyed it now. It's a really hard game if you don't turn on the infinite lives thing, though.
Yes. Yeah, so Hammerwatch, it builds itself as and this is similar to the NES Gauntlet that I'm comparing it to. You only get a certain number of lives, and if you use all those lives, you are done. The game is over. So it's unforgiving in a lot of ways. There's a lot of stuff that'll kill you that you don't necessarily understand, and you don't regen health unless you turn on the regen health function. And there's a lot of functions to make the game easier, and I feel like the game is really designed toward the most hardcore. No extra lives, no infinite lives, no health regen, which makes it a really tactically interesting game and a really tense game. Until you've lost a couple of times, and it's like, oh, we gotta go play this exact same dungeon multiple times. Mm-hmm. So it's tough. It feels to me like the game's design is kind of at odds with itself. It wants to be like a roguelike or something, but it doesn't have a changing map. So there's no real incentive to play through it multiple times. But if you play it with the infinite lives and everything, then a lot of combat loses a lot of its tension, because it's like, oh, I'll just die and walk back, and then I'll have full health and mana, and I can just unload on this thing. But that's one small weakness that I would point out in a game that is full of strengths. It's just a joy to play. The game is beautiful, for one thing. The pixel art is super, super good, and the level design is really interesting, and trying to find all the little secrets and everything is really good. And combat is fun. It just feels good. It's got really good game feel.
Yeah, you played when we were streaming together. You played a thief, and I played a priest, right? And you had some things to say about the thief class.
Oh, thief is super interesting. So, this game has melee and ranged heroes, and I find in general the melee guys to be really difficult because you have to get right in there, and a lot of the game is about dodging projectiles and trying not to take damage as much as possible, because again, if you're playing with lives on, then there's a lot of tension to it. The thief deals with that fact by his ability to, when you swing your sword, not only do you do a ton of damage, but you also block all projectiles in an arc during your swing. And that ends up being a really strong, really skill-based aspect of the thief class. I really enjoyed it. I haven't played a melee hero in this before. Like in the past, I've played the mage, and I've played the priest, and I've played the ranger, and I tried the paladin once, and he was kind of awful. But I don't know if he's been updated in any way. But he's really hard to get going because he doesn't have that ability to block projectiles until later on.
Right. I played the priest, and well, I mean, I had a good time. Not that I had any reference point for any of the other characters, but I did like the fact that his healing beam was an offensive beam at the same time. I was saving it mostly to heal you, and that worked. But whenever I got cornered, it was nice to be able to shoot a beam. Let's say I got separated from you, which happened a lot. During yesterday's stream, it was nice to be able to try to get myself out of a sticky situation by turning that healing beam into an offensive one. I mean, by default, it's kind of both, right? Depending on who you target. But it was still good so that I could just break myself out of a sticky situation.
Yeah, and with my experience as a priest too, you had just gotten your vampiric field. I don't know what it's called. But you put down a circle on the ground, and everything in the circle takes damage, and all of the damages that is done goes into any friendly people in the circle. So the priest is really, really good once he gets that ability at turning around a situation. You get chased into a corner by a bunch of enemies, just throw down one of those fields. They're all going to heal him by 1,000,000, and he can just kill them all. So he's the priest. I find a really interesting character because he feels very weak when he's not with his team. However, as soon as you get that ability, you can suddenly just turn a fight around completely and solo a whole group of enemies if you have the mana for it.
Mm-hmm. I will say that. Wait, hold on. I have another question for you. How long does a campaign you take to go through? I think you played it together with Downspace, right?
Yeah, I played all the way through the main Hammerwatch campaign one time with Dunce and Definition, and I think one other person. I can't remember who was there. It was during a 53-hour live stream, and it took us in our adult state probably about 9 or 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours, something like that, to beat it. We did it in 2 sessions, and that was with infinite lives on, and also just with people being total idiots and like getting lost a lot, and just in general not being at peak form. So if you're with a well-oiled machine of a team, you might get done with a campaign in like 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, which doesn't really work well with the whole permadeath thing.
Well, the thing is, you can save your game, so it's not like you have to play it all in one session.
Right.
But you're right. The permadeath it's a weird design choice because, yeah, like you said, like if you get 5 hours into the campaign and then you get wiped and lose all your lives, you're back to level 1. You have to play those 5 hours again, and it's all the same fucking game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. That's it's a strange design decision.
Right. So,
but I love the tension it adds. I would love to play this as a procedurally generated game, even though I totally see how like the secrets and stuff could not be procedurally generated. It's just the universe in which this game is newly generated every time you play it. This would be like the ultimate dungeon crawling experience. It would be super fun.
Well, I do have some hot news at the moment. Hammerwatch 2 is under development.
Oh, yeah, I had heard that. It's been for a while, right?
Yeah. So I didn't know it was, actually, because they were working on another game, Serious Sam's Bogus Detour, for a while. But yes, Hammerwatch 2 is coming, and maybe they will be able to address some of those things that we talked about.
Yeah, I'll be really interested to see what they do with it. God, Hammerwatch, it has such an opaque design. I don't know what exactly I mean by that, but it feels like, I don't know. I don't actually know what I'm trying to say. It's hard to like think about what the developers were thinking when they made it, because it just feels so good and cohesive, It's hard to imagine Hammerwatch actually being different in any way.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. I don't think there's much information out on Hammerwatch 2 yet, but I'm sure whenever they are ready for it, it will show up in the major news outlets like Rock Paper Shotgun maybe.
Totally. Yeah, and I very much hope to cover Hammerwatch 2 on the podcast whenever that happens. Because I really, really, really... The first Hammerwatch has a really space close to my heart. It's a good-ass video game.
Yep. I haven't played it as much as you have, but I still enjoyed the time we had with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the kind of game that as a kid I always would have wanted to play. You know, just this multiplayer, like just pick a mage or an archer or a bruiser or something and just wander around a dungeon with friends. That's exactly what I would have wanted as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that is Hammerwatch. Next week we are going to be playing a very unusual game, and that will be Sunless Skies, the follow-up to Sunless Seas. We have covered this on Sunless Seas on the podcast before, and and yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing in this new setting. It's up in the sky now instead of being on that dank water.
What?
Man.
Is the sea just a giant bong? Is that what you're getting at?
The sea is a giant bong. Man.
That was the plot twist. That was the twist ending of Sunless Seas. I spoiled it for everybody. It turns out you're just in a big old bong.
Man, what if the sea was like a big old bong and it was being smoked by Cthulhu? Wouldn't that be wild?
And humanity is the cigarette.
Humanity is the cigarette.
Yeah, because that's how it works, right? You put a cigarette in the bong and then you smoke it.
I actually have no idea. To be real honest
Really?
with you, I don't know. I know what a bong is in theory. I just don't know how it works.
There's like a place for whatever you're smoking, like the material. You light it on fire, and then like the way the bong is designed, the smoke from the material has to go through the water before it comes out of the air into your mouth. So it gets like the harshness. It gets cooled basically by the water is the main thing.
Oh, that's a bong? Okay, that sounds a lot like those. I forget what they're called. Like, you know, not marijuana, but actual establishments where you can smoke a water pipe. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same concept for sure.
Oh, okay.
It's on a more individual level. Like it's an easier to manufacture piece of equipment.
I mean, you see, I've just exposed myself as a fraud, right? I've been making bong jokes for at least 12 years without knowing what a bong actually was.
Have you been making bong jokes?
I'm sure I have.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching the Game Not Game podcast.
Just going to leave that stat. But yes.
I mean, I don't know
how to move on from that. Yeah, I wouldn't
where we
either.
can go from that.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to stop talking. My throat hurts.
Okay, well, all right, then I'll just say then thank you again for watching another episode of Game Not Game. Be sure to go to Green's channel, twitch.tv/green9090, to watch us live and also to watch him play Overwatch. That's what you've been playing lately, right?
Yeah, I tend to super late at night just play Overwatch and stream it because why not? But also, we have a scheduling change, right? Unless
we do.
That doesn't work for you. Yeah. We're gonna go to Monday and Wednesday for the podcast now, as opposed to Wednesday and Thursday, and that's gonna hopefully, you know, we spent a lot of time this summer not doing the podcast because we just couldn't find time to do it, and I think it's gonna help a lot having more backup days. So, you know, if we miss Monday, maybe we'll instead do the game on Wednesday, and then we can do the podcast on Thursday or Friday or Saturday, and, you know, hopefully, you know, be able to work it out from there. So Monday and Wednesday at 7:30 PST are going to be our days. Monday is going to be we play the game of the week. Wednesday is going to be we talk about it on the podcast. So if you want to keep track of the podcast, that's how you do it.
Right. Well, as always, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Also, go to youtube.com/Zen and Cyrene. That's a good place to go.
Yeah.
What are you playing nowadays then?
Danganronpa, still. Those are long
Danganronpa.
games. My god. I'm trying to finish Danganronpa 2 in time for Danganronpa 3 that's coming out in the end of September. And
I did not know there was another one coming out.
There is another one. In fact, a lot of more people are playing Danganronpa on Twitch now, I've noticed, because everyone's like, hey, you know what? There's a new one coming out. I better get on the first two. Good luck with that.
Totally.
But seriously, Danganronpa...
So Danganronpa,
it's
basically Phoenix Wright, but crazy, right?
Yes, it is that. I don't want to go into a whole long spiel about it because we're at the end of the podcast, but especially 2, I've been finding out is just batshit insane. It's just out there crazy. 1 is crazy enough. 2 just takes it to a whole new level.
It's crazy anime court.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Crazy anime court. Well, if the judge was, a psychotic teddy bear, and everyone else is trying to is trying to accuse each other of being the murderer. There might be some serial killers thrown into the mix, bombs. I don't know what else. It's crazy.
So if that pitch gets you, you want to know more, youtube.com/ZenInsiderine. Also, next week's game of the week is going to be Sunless Skies. It's in early access right now. It's the sequel to Sunless Seas, which was really good. I haven't played it yet, but it sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Yep. So, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, nerds.